If your garden beds turn into cracked earth every summer, no matter how much compost or mulch you add, you know how frustrating it can be to keep plants thriving. Dry beds rob roots of water, strip away nutrients, and leave you fighting an uphill battle for every harvest. But what if there were a single cover crop that not only thrived in tough, dry conditions, but also restored soil structure, fixed nitrogen, and created a living mulch to hold in precious moisture? Gardeners who've struggled with sandy, rocky, or drought-prone soil should pay close attention, because this plant is more than a cover crop. It's a soil game changer. The plant I'm talking about is lablab, also known as hyacinth bean. While it's been grown for centuries in Africa and Asia, many gardeners in Europe and America are just beginning to rediscover its power. Unlike many cover crops that wilt at the first sign of drought, lablab thrives where others fail. It not only grows quickly and vigorously, but it also transforms poor soil into fertile, moisture-holding ground that sets up your garden for success long after the season is over. What makes lablab such a powerful ally in dry soil is its deep and aggressive root system. While many traditional cover crops send out shallow roots, lablab pushes deep into the soil profile, tapping moisture reserves that other plants can't reach. In doing so, it breaks up compaction, aerates the soil, and creates natural pathways for water infiltration. Once those roots decompose, they leave behind organic matter and channels that help rain soak in rather than running off. Another reason lablab stands out is its ability to fix nitrogen. Like other legumes, lablab forms a symbiotic partnership with soil bacteria to capture atmospheric nitrogen and convert it into a form that plants can use. This means your beds don't just become moister and better structured, they become more fertile too. For dry, nutrient-poor beds, it's the ultimate two-in-one solution: water retention and fertility building in a single plant. Beyond roots and nitrogen, lablab provides one more major benefit. It creates a dense canopy of vines and leaves that shade the soil. This acts as a living mulch, protecting bare soil from sun exposure and evaporation. So by keeping the ground shaded and covered, lablab reduces water loss and helps regulate soil temperatures. These are key advantages, especially in hot, dry climates. When you eventually cut it back, the above-ground biomass adds a massive amount of organic matter to your beds. These vines and leaves break down into humus-rich compost right where they grew, feeding the soil food web and, honestly, supercharging microbial activity. The result is dark, crumbly soil that holds water like a sponge while providing steady nutrients for your crops. Lablab is a warm season cover crop, so timing is everything. Wait until your soil has warmed up to at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 15 degrees Celsius before planting. Sow the seeds directly into your dry beds at a depth of about 1 inch and give them some space to climb or sprawl, since the vines can grow vigorously once established. If you're using lablab strictly as a cover crop, you can let it run across the surface as a ground cover. For gardeners who prefer more control, a simple trellis works wonders, keeping the vines upright while still allowing their roots to do the heavy lifting underground. In terms of maintenance, lablab is refreshingly low input. Once established, it tolerates heat and drought exceptionally well, often outperforming cowpeas or soybeans under dry conditions. So you'll want to water it during early establishment, and after that, honestly, it will practically take care of itself until frost. By mid to late autumn, you can cut it down and just leave the residue to decompose directly on the soil, or if you prefer a quicker breakdown, you can lightly till it in. Either way, your soil will end up in far better shape than when you started. If you're ready to try lablab in your own dry beds, finding the seeds is actually easier than you might think. In the United States, reliable sources include Johnny's Selected Seeds, Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and True Leaf Market. In Europe, gardeners can often find lablab seeds through online retailers like Real Seeds in the UK, Bingenheimer Saatgut in Germany, or specialized heirloom seed sellers such as Cocopelli in France. So the important thing is to make sure you're buying lablab that's meant for agricultural or garden use, not just for ornamental purposes. While hyacinth bean is sometimes sold for its really striking purple flowers, the functional cover crop varieties are just way better suited for soil improvement. The truth is, most gardeners who are struggling with dry beds end up stuck in this cycle of watering more, mulching more, and amending more. Basically, all short-term fixes that never really solve the root problem. Lablab, though, offers a genuine way out of that cycle by tackling soil structure, fertility, and moisture all at once. Honestly, very few cover crops can really compete with Lablab's ability to thrive in drought-feed your soil and actually leave it better than it was before. If you're after healthier soil, stronger crops, and a garden that can handle dry spells without constant rescue, Lablab is definitely the cover crop you've been waiting for. So, it's time to put this underrated legume to work in your own beds. And, if you found this guide useful, don't forget to subscribe to Gentle Herb Living for more practical, time-tested gardening insights. Go ahead and share this video with a fellow gardener who struggles with dry soil, and together, let's make our gardens thrive naturally.